Good morning, Andre, or good afternoon, or you're a few hours away. Um, let's take a look at search real quick here, and also search has a component when we are dealing with uh, band configuration. So if I go into search and let's do this, shrink this down a little bit, come over here. Search is pretty cool. It is pretty fast too. Um, You can search all title or featured in good articles. All titles, there's about um, I don't know how many. There's thousands in all titles. Featured in good articles is there's about 20,000 of those. And I pulled this list about 6 months ago, and I have to refresh it, but it doesn't change very much. Um, Margaret Thatcher's always going, and Ronald Reagan's always going to have an article. So in Wikipedia, there isn't a lot of new important articles added a lot. You might be able to do that manually, actually. And and this is when you search for something and you already have a timeline up, you can either place the new timeline that you find above the current timeline that's on your screen, below it, or you can replace the current one so you'll still have one. So if you do it above, after your search, you'll have two timelines, and below you'll have two timelines. And if you do replace, and I don't know why it's not working right. At any rate, that's not functional right now, and I just put that up. That's above my pay grade to do that sort of thing. Um, so if you do above, it'll go. The timeline that you select in search will be placed above the current timeline on the screen, and they'll scroll at the same time. Their center scrolls will be at the same place. It'll be really cool because you could put like 5 timelines up, and they'll all scroll together. It'll just be a mind-boggling experience. So let's type something in here. A, B selected up here. They'll all have stars next to them. So and there it is. Abraham Lincoln is the first one. Now the search is really fast because I can do interword searches. For instance, what would be a good example of an inter? Let's type in. That's not a good example. Let me give you a good example here. Okay, here's a good example of an intra title search. When you type something in, I'll look for titles that begin with those words. If I can't find that, then I'll start looking inside titles. And as an example, I'll put of the. Now, no Wikipedia title starts out with the two words of the, but there's a lot of Wikipedia titles that have of the in the title. And if I can't find it at the start, I'll search for it within the title. Notice of the is right here, of the is right here, and so on and so forth. So it's a very, very comprehensive, parsed out search. And I think it's better than the Wikipedia search, actually. And there's a lot of them. So, but I wanted to go over search, but I wanted to kind of tie that into the band configuration menu. So if I go over here and I do menu, there's certain things I haven't done that are just above my pay grade and I just can't do, and that's add some buttons. So at the bottom, if I wanted to add a band, first I got to place the band in order, and that's pretty tricky, I know. but there should be like an add button, and let's do that here. The add button would go. This is really kind of nice, actually. If you wanted to add, maybe put an add button right here. A D D. It's hard to write like this. And then there would be a delete button if you wanted to delete a band. Oh, where did they go? At any rate, there's an add band and a delete band. So if you pick delete, it would delete this particular band. If you clicked add, and I'm not sure where we would place these buttons, it would add a band before band 1, and that would become band 1, and band 1 would become band 2, etc. And if you did pick add right here, if you pick the add button, it would come up with the search, just as we were seeing before. And you could search for a different event source. Hit escape on that. And you would just stick an event source right in there. So you could have like you could have a dozen event sources, and then configure them in different ways. I know this is a really complex. This part of the whole interface is really complex, but if it's completely understood, it's just basically just an array that's passed through. And there's other issues with it. If you had Abraham Lincoln's timeline up here, and then you wanted to put King Henry III's band in here also, well, the title of this particular it becomes a different timeline, and you'd have to retitle it and add it as a separate article. So there's a lot of tricky stuff going on in here. But if it's completely understood from the get-go, it's pretty straightforward. There's some math issues and that sort of thing, but that's how the search is integrated in with the band configuration. And again, I don't know really what to call it. So that's that for right now. Boom. Let me zoom out of here. And that's that. Wait, that didn't work out right. There.